Good day, football fan. Good day, Chelsea fan. Today we're going to be talking about an interesting line of thought around the recruitment in Chelsea for this season. The recruitment process this year is a lot better when compared with what the effort was in the past year. It will look as if the new ownership in Chelsea have found a little bit of experience, and they seems to be getting into the groove of things around football businesses. Today we're going to be talking about what is making the round in the news. As you can see on the screen right now, there are rumors credited to Rudy Gelati, an Italian reporter, talking about how that Chelsea have contacted Adeyemi's entourage and have started negotiating for personal term. The report out there is that the player is keen on the move to Chelsea. At this point, I can only, from my own personal opinion, I can say people need to exercise a little bit of caution on this kind of report. There's a lot of reason for that. But it's out there and is making the rounds, and I would say it's something that we can keep an eye on to be sure that Chelsea is gonna go in this direction. But just to take things into perspective and to consider everything from the right point of view, will we notice, if we go down memory lane, that about 2 seasons ago, Chelsea signed Raheem Sterling. On this date, about 2 seasons ago, in July 9, 2022, Fabrizio Romano reported, here we go, on how Chelsea signed Raheem Sterling from Manchester City for a fee of £45 million plus £10 million add-on. If all the add-ons were all hit, this operation is going to cost Chelsea about £55 million. At that point in time, Raheem Sterling was about 27 years of age. The expectation was that Chelsea is signing a very experienced player who is going to come into the team and make them better. Whether that was achieved is up for debate. His numbers, as we will see in the later part of this video, suggest that it is not as bad as many Chelsea fans think. However, Raheem Sterling has really not passed eye test to most of Chelsea fans. So it's been a lot of debate around the performances of Raheem Sterling. So the story develops further that since he's come to Chelsea, it's been really difficult. Like I said, Raheem Sterling has not really passed the high test with a lot of Chelsea fans. High test in the fact that when you're watching Raheem Sterling in most of Chelsea game, it seems to have problem with decision making. Most of the time he's running with balls when he's supposed to pass the ball, switch the pass or switch the play. He's running into traffic, which is very surprising for somebody of his experience and age, because it's at the level where you are experienced, you've seen it all. He's played a lot of EPL matches. At this point, he should know what works, what does not work. So there seems to be that cloud over Raheem Sterling. So this rumor swirling around that the club might be hoping to doing business if anybody come forward for Raheem Sterling, and that is why we're getting into this conversation today about the story making the rounds about Karim Adeyemi from Dortmund. But another part of the story to the left wide position in Chelsea after Raheem Sterling was signed in 2022, January 15, 2023, Mudryk also was unveiled at Stamford Bridge, brought in from Shakhtar. He was originally gonna be going to Arsenal, but Chelsea jumped into that trade, hijacked it, and brought him into Stamford Bridge, and the expectation was quite high. This young man was expected to be very skillful, to be very impactful into the team. But there are so many sides to the story of Mudryk, which is also fondly called Misha by a lot of Chelsea faithful. So, the case of Mudryk, a lot of people try to compare him with Mohamed Salah. Several years ago, when Chelsea brought him in, he was so raw, he was so young. But if I am to compare the two, I would say that Mohamed Salah is a lot better, well schooled than Mudryk. Maybe Chelsea still have to be a lot patient with Mudryk to be able to make the most of him. Time will only tell all of that details. So the by and large of the discussion today is that there is this rumor out there amongst Chelsea fan, Chelsea community, that Chelsea is showing interest in Borussia Dortmund's winger Karim Adeyemi, and that is why we're looking into this discussion today and trying to look at the pros and cons of that position. Having Raheem Sterling, an experienced winger with very high wages, it's been reported that Raheem Sterling is on wages in excess of £300,000 a week, and Mudryk is on moderate wages of in excess of £100,000 a week. When you combine that, that's huge investment. So why do you want to bring in Karim Adeyemi when you have those two players that are largely unproven? And there's a lot of factors that could be considered as reason why the two existing left-wide players in the teams are not performing. There's been multiple changes of manager and all of that, and so the story making round among Chelsea fans is that they are looking forward to having on this list that we see in this on the screen right now. Nico Williams seems to be on top. Is an expensive package, as we see there. His wages is going to be in excess of £300,000 a week, and the release clause that is being inserted into his contract is around £50 million. That's expensive. That's huge, very expensive package, given the fact that you already have Raheem Sterling and Mudryk on very expensive package already there. So the risk is going to be so high if Chelsea is to go down that route. But there are other names. Two other names that jump at me on this list is Deserido and Crescencio Somerville. I know Somerville very well. Somerville is a good one, but the gentleman Desiree there, I do not know this player very well, but I've seen a bit of his comp, and it looks to be an exciting player. But whatever Chelsea is going to do at the end of the day, they have to really edge their bet by making sure that whatever operation they will be going with is not an expensive operation. It's going to be an operation where the sign-on fee is not going to be expensive. The wages as well is going to be something moderate. That is how I think the bet around this left wide position can be managed. So some of the issues that I think may have been the the matter with Mudryk and possibly Sterling himself. If you look at this on the screen right now, between the time that Mudryk has been at Chelsea, Chelsea seems to be on the fifth manager by the time the new manager starts work in the early hours of today. Talking of Ento Maresca, that would be Mudryk's fifth manager since he joined Chelsea. That is really not very healthy for a very young player of his age 21, 22, coming into a new country, coming from a country that is war torn, and then coming into this under the light, and then you have that much instability that could really affect his game, could really affect his performance. And talk of Sterling as a very experienced player as well. It's worked in very settled environment. When he was at Liverpool, he worked under one manager before he left Liverpool, and since he's been at City, he's been under one manager, and then coming to Chelsea in less than 2 seasons, he's had about 6 managers now, because I remember it was Thomas Tuchel who signed him. So all of that could be contributory to the reason why they have really not performed. But time will tell. Chelsea need to exercise a lot of caution with what they do here. But if we look at the numbers of Sterling, his numbers has really not been bad. He's played 81 games for Chelsea, and within that 81 games, he already had 31 goals and assists. That is not bad for a player. Sterling is about 29 years of age right now. When you compare that with another player that is being talked about around Chelsea, just this past week, there was a talk about how that internally Mitoma is liked within Chelsea. This is another player that is currently 27 years of age. If you look at his number in the EPL and in FA and Carabao Cup, we will see that his number is just slightly a little better than Sterling. He's had about 61 games for Brighton, and his goals and assists is about 25, which brings his goal contribution to about 40%, about 2% better than Sterling, and he's 2 years younger than Sterling. But is it really worthwhile for Chelsea to go for this kind of player? Because is going to be very, very expensive, very expensive. So again, why are we talking about all this thing? Is because of the news of Karim Adeyemi coming to Chelsea, and the discussion around it is it really worthwhile? Should Chelsea be having this kind of player, given the players they already have right now? And they also have players in the team like Nkunku. They have players like Nicholas Jackson that could be pushed into the left wide area as an auxiliary player that could do some things in that position. They also have players in the academy that could be drafted into the first team to gain senior experience. So should Chelsea really be spending money on this position? I want you to comment down below in this video. Just let me know what your view is. Should Chelsea really be spending money here, or do you think they will still do better with what they already have? Thank you for your time to listen to this content here. We look forward to you liking and subscribing to this channel, and also share with other with fans. And then we'll be bringing more content for you, and we will be having a great time together here. Thank you, and you have a wonderful time. See y'all.